Here's something nobody tells you. The wealthiest person in your neighborhood probably doesn't look wealthy. They drive a forgettable car. They bring lunch to work in a bag. Their wardrobe looks almost identical week after week. They have never posted a flex on social media. And they are quietly, methodically building a net worth that would make your jaw drop. Meanwhile, the person who looks rich, lease on a German SUV, designer sneakers, rotating wardrobe, weekly restaurants, is one missed paycheck away from a cash flow crisis. This is not a coincidence. This is a pattern.
A decade of research on actual millionaires, not influencers, not lottery winners, not crypto gamblers. Actual, boring, self-made millionaires reveals something uncomfortable. Their most powerful financial habits are almost embarrassing to talk about. They're unglamorous. They don't go viral. They look nothing like what financial content on social media sells you. This video is about those habits. 10 of them. None of them will impress anyone at a party. All of them will change your financial trajectory if you actually do them. The more boring your money management feels, the more likely it's working. Let's get into it.
Habit 1. Buy the boring car, keep it forever. The single largest financial mistake the average American makes in their 20s and 30s has nothing to do with investing. It has nothing to do with their salary. It is the car they buy. Here's the number that changes how you think about this. The average monthly new car payment in late 2025 hit $772. That's according to Edmunds. Over 20% of new car buyers are now committing to payments above $1,000 per month. Americans collectively hold over $1.65 trillion in auto loan debt. Think about what $772 a month actually is. That's $9,264 per year, before insurance, before registration, before maintenance, before gas. And the second you drive that new car off the lot, it's already lost roughly 20% of its value, according to Kelley Blue Book data. By the end of year 1, depreciation typically reaches 25 to 30%. A $50,000 vehicle is worth $35,000 in 12 months. You didn't spend that money on anything. You didn't get anything back. It simply evaporated. Now meet Marcus. Marcus is 29. He financed a $48,000 SUV because it felt like a reward for his new job. His payment is $810 a month. He's going to do this for 5 years. Then he'll trade it in, still owing money, and finance the next one. This cycle will repeat for the next 20 years of his life. The total cost of that habit, when you factor in depreciation, interest, and the investment opportunity he lost, studies suggest it exceeds $400,000 in lifetime wealth destruction for people who serial finance new vehicles. The alternative isn't complicated. A 5 to 7-year-old Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, or Mazda CX-5 costs $14,000 to $20,000. It has already absorbed the brutal early depreciation. Modern vehicles routinely last 150,000 to 200,000 miles with basic maintenance. You buy it, you drive it, you run it into the ground or sell it before it needs big repairs. Someone who stops financing cars and instead invests that $772 monthly at a conservative 8% annual return accumulates roughly $170,000 over 15 years. That's not a retirement fund. That's just the car habit money. Here's the thing that makes wealthy people laugh when they hear it. The most common vehicles driven by American millionaires, according to a Ramsey Solutions survey of over 10,000 of them, are Toyotas, Hondas, and Fords. Not BMWs, not Audis, not anything with a leaping cat on the hood. Transportation is a tool. It gets you from here to there. The person in the 12-year-old Civic and the person in the $65,000 crossover both arrive at the same destination. One of them is building wealth. The other is funding the dealership's vacation. Habit 2. Stop making food decisions every single night. Decision fatigue is real, and your grocery bill is suffering from it. The average American family of 4 throws away approximately $1,500 worth of food per year. Not eats, throws away, directly into the garbage. Food waste is the single largest category of material in American landfills, representing over 24% of municipal solid waste according to USDA data. You know exactly how this happens. Monday, you buy groceries with a vision. Salmon, fresh vegetables, those fancy mushrooms, 3 different sauces. Tuesday, you're tired and order delivery. Wednesday, same. By Sunday, the salmon is a biohazard and the vegetables have become soup. The financially unglamorous solution is meal rotation. Pick 4 or 5 meals, make them every week, rotate them. That's it. When you cook the same meals repeatedly, your grocery bill becomes completely predictable. You know exactly what each ingredient costs because you buy it every single week. You know exactly how much you will use because you've made it 40 times. Nothing gets forgotten in the back of the fridge. Nothing rots. Take Elena. She used to spend $300+ a month on groceries for 2 people, plus regular delivery orders, plus throwing out whatever didn't get cooked. After switching to a 5-meal rotation, 2 pasta dishes, a stir-fry, a soup, a grain bowl, her monthly grocery total dropped to $190. Same nutritional value, less time thinking about food, 0 guilt over wasted produce. The objection is always, won't that get boring? Consider this. You eat breakfast, probably the same 2 or 3 things. Does it bother you? Almost certainly not. Breakfast has become automated, and that automation is actually pleasant. Dinner can be the same. Households that adopt meal rotation consistently report spending 30 to 40% less on groceries than households that improvise week to week. Combined with the food waste reduction, this habit alone is worth $2,000 to $3,500 annually for the average family. Habit 3. Treat your savings like your landlord treats rent. Here is the standard money sequence that keeps most people broke. Paycheck arrives, bills get paid, life gets lived. Whatever's left, if anything's left, goes to savings. The problem is that spending expands to fill available money. This isn't a character flaw, it's behavioral economics. When money is visible and accessible, it gets spent. Every time. The savings last approach practically guarantees savings will be minimal or non-existent. The inversion is simple, and it changes everything. Savings gets treated like rent. It gets paid first, automatically, before you ever see the money. The day your paycheck hits, or ideally through payroll deduction before it even lands in your account, automatic transfers move money into retirement accounts, emergency funds, and investment accounts. What remains in your checking account after those transfers is your actual budget for the month, not the gross number, the after savings number. Your lifestyle adapts to the smaller number instead of expanding to swallow the larger one. This isn't a new idea. It's the mechanism behind every 401k plan ever created. Payroll deductions remove money before workers process it as available. The savings happens by default, requiring 0 willpower, 0 discipline, 0 monthly decision-making. Over 1 million American workers have accumulated more than $2 billion through state auto IRA programs built on exactly this principle. The psychology is blunt. You cannot spend money you never see. Set up automatic transfers for the day after payday. Fund retirement accounts first, then emergency reserves, then investment accounts. Make your checking balance the remainder, not the starting point. This single structural change separates people who accidentally accumulate wealth from people who permanently wonder where their money went. Habit 4. The coffee math nobody wants to do. According to Empower's 2025 research, Americans spend an average of $44.50 per month on coffee shop purchases. Gen Z averages closer to $51. Let's do the math nobody enjoys. One specialty coffee drink at Starbucks, $6 to $8. 5 days a week, 50 working weeks a year. That's $1,500 to $2,000 annually on one drink. Coffee brewed at home using quality beans, 25 to 50 cents per cup, maybe $1 if you're using premium single origin. Annual cost for daily home coffee, $150 to $350. The gap, $1,650 to $1,850 per year. That number invested at 8% annual returns over 30 years becomes approximately $220,000.
This is not about suffering through bad coffee. A decent pour-over setup or a quality espresso machine can produce results that embarrass most coffee shops. The ritual of making your own drink can be genuinely satisfying, and your coffee is actually ready when you want it, made exactly how you like it. The deeper principle here goes beyond coffee. Think about everything you buy daily or weekly that could be made, brought from home, or simply skipped. Energy drinks, bottled water, convenience store snacks, gas station impulse buys. Each one individually is small. Collectively, they represent thousands of dollars annually being traded for 90-second transactions you barely remember. Save the coffee shop for social visits, where you're paying for the conversation and the atmosphere. For daily caffeine, make it at home. Habit 5. The invisible wealth habit. Pack your own food. Lunch out costs $13 to $18 in most American markets in 2025. A meal prepped at home delivers equivalent nutrition for $3 to $5. Someone buying workday lunches 5 days a week spends approximately $3,000 to $4,500 annually on midday meals. Someone bringing food from home spends $750 to $1,300. The annual savings from this single habit, $2,000 to $3,000. But here's where it gets more interesting. This habit has a travel version that most people ignore completely. Airport food is priced to exploit captive audiences. A sandwich that costs $3.50 at home becomes $14 at the terminal. Vacation dining at tourist area restaurants runs 30 to 50% higher than the same meal would cost locally. A family of 4 eating exclusively at restaurants on a week-long vacation can easily spend $600 to $900 just on food. Kevin and his wife take the same annual beach vacation every year. For years, every single meal was a restaurant. $700 in food costs for the week. 3 years ago, they changed one thing. They stop at a grocery store on arrival, stock up on breakfast foods, easy lunches, snacks, and a few dinners. Eat out twice, once at a genuinely special restaurant, once casually. Same vacation, same beach, same week off. Food cost? $180. The $520 they save? It funds most of a second trip. This habit doesn't photograph well. Nobody posts about the granola bar they packed for the plane. But the people who do these things consistently are the same people who take more vacations, not fewer, because their trips cost half what everyone else's costs. Habit 6. Frictionless spending is a trap. Online shopping is the most financially dangerous development of the last 20 years, and nobody talks about it that way. Every obstacle between you and your money has been systematically removed. One-click checkout, saved card details, same-day delivery. No driving, no physical carrying, no waiting in line, no moment of walking away and thinking about it. That friction wasn't inconvenience. That friction was protection. Research on consumer behavior finds that online shoppers spend 15 to 30% more than in-store shoppers on equivalent purchases. The algorithms are not neutral. Recommended products, only 3 left in stock urgency, bundled suggestions, every interface element is engineered to maximize your spending. Shopping in person reintroduces the delay that naturally filters impulse purchases. You have to decide to leave the house. You have to drive. You have to walk through a store. You have to carry the item. You have to stand in a checkout line. Each of these steps creates a window for reconsideration. Do I actually need this? Is this worth the effort it took to get here? Most impulse purchases don't survive that question. A 1-month reset worth trying. Delete every shopping app from your phone. Remove saved payment information from every website. Create a rule. Anything non-essential must be purchased in person. You will be amazed how quickly "I need this" becomes "I completely forgot I wanted that." Habit 7. Stop buying clothes according to Bureau of Labor Statistics data. The majority of that clothing gets worn a handful of times before ending up in a donation bag or the back of a closet.
Fast fashion has manufactured the expectation of constant wardrobe updates, new micro-seasons every few weeks, social pressure, real or imagined, to never repeat an outfit. The result is closets full of cheap, rarely worn clothing and credit cards that reflect it. The quietly wealthy solution is a concept called a capsule wardrobe. Build a limited collection of quality basics that all work together. Choose a consistent style and color palette. Buy pieces that fit you well and that will last years, not months. Then, stop buying. Wear the same things repeatedly. Be an outfit repeater. Look essentially identical most days. The math favors this completely. A $250 jacket worn 80 times costs $3.13 per wear. A $40 jacket worn 3 times before falling apart or going out of style costs $13.33 per wear. Quality worn repeatedly is always cheaper than cheap worn briefly. The hidden dividend of this habit? No more decision fatigue about getting dressed. No more hours lost browsing retail sites. No more guilt about purchases you regret. No more closet archaeology trying to find that one thing you bought on sale. Ramsey Solutions' research on millionaire behavior found that they don't constantly update wardrobes. They find what works, they wear it until it doesn't work anymore, then they replace it with the same thing. The time and money freed by this habit flows back toward actually building wealth. Habit 8. Live 18 months behind your income. Goldman Sachs research produced a statistic that should stop you cold. 41% of Americans earning between $300,000 and $500,000 annually report living paycheck to paycheck. Not people making $45,000, people making $400,000, nearly half of them financially fragile. This is lifestyle creep in its terminal form. Every raise, every promotion, every jump to a higher-paying job triggers immediate lifestyle expansion. Bigger apartment, newer car, more expensive restaurants, premium subscriptions. Every income upgrade gets swallowed whole by upgraded spending. The gap between what's earned and what's spent stays constant at zero, regardless of how high the income goes. The alternative is uncomfortable, and it works. When your income increases, through any means, pretend it didn't. Keep the same apartment, keep the same car, keep the same grocery budget. Keep the same everything. Bank the entire difference between your new income and your old lifestyle. Call it the 18-month rule. For the first 18 months after any income increase, your lifestyle doesn't change. The raise doesn't touch your spending. It goes directly into savings and investments. After 18 months, you're allowed to allocate some of it to lifestyle improvement. But the habit of banking the gap is already established, and the investments are already compounding. Here's what this looks like in numbers. Someone earns $60,000 and lives on $50,000, saving $10,000 annually. Their income rises to $78,000. Lifestyle stays at $50,000. Now they're saving $28,000 annually. 2 years later, income hits $90,000. Lifestyle creeps to $58,000, a modest upgrade, and savings becomes $32,000 annually. Each income level funds the next wave of compounding, rather than funding a new lifestyle tier. Delayed gratification is unglamorous. Watching people around you upgrade while you maintain is socially awkward. The financial position you quietly build through that restraint, however, creates options they will simply never have. Habit 9. Shop once a week, not whenever. This one sounds almost insultingly simple. That's how you know it works. Most households operate with an open grocery policy. Need something? Go get it. Running low? Stop on the way home. Feel like cooking something specific? Pop in real quick. Each of these trips costs more than the thing you went for. Grocery stores are architecturally designed to encourage purchases. Every trip, even a quick one, produces impulse buys. According to consumer research, shoppers spend approximately $20 to $30 extra per unplanned store visit beyond their intended purchase. 5 unplanned trips per month, $100 to $150 in unplanned spending. Per year, $1,200 to $1,800 in purchases you never budgeted. The fix? Shop once per week, with a list, made in advance, after taking a full inventory of what you already have. One deliberate weekly shop with a written list reduces the exposure to impulse buying by roughly 80%. You only face the architecture of temptation once instead of 5 or 6 times. Combined with the meal rotation from Habit 2, this eliminates nearly all food-related financial leakage. You know what you're making, you know what you need, you buy exactly that. The grocery store stops being a place where money mysteriously disappears.
Habit 10. Have a hobby that pays you back. Every habit so far has been about reducing spending. This one is different. According to research published by Inc., 65% of self-made millionaires have at least 3 income streams. Not one, at least 3. For most people, building multiple income streams sounds overwhelming. Starting a business sounds like quitting your job, working 80-hour weeks, writing a business plan, getting investors, and probably failing spectacularly. That's not what this habit is. The reframe? Don't start a business. Monetize something you already do for free. You enjoy fitness and have visible results? Document the journey. You're skilled at a craft? Woodworking, ceramics, digital art? Sell what you make. You're genuinely knowledgeable about cars, finance, cooking, parenting, history, real estate? Teach it. Write about it. Make videos about it. The infrastructure for monetizing skills and interests has never been more accessible. Platforms for selling physical products, digital downloads, services, content, and expertise already exist and already have audiences. The barrier isn't technical. It's just the decision to start. This isn't about replacing your income. Even 1 to 5 hours per week directed towards something that generates money can produce an extra $200, $600, or $1,500 per month, depending on the approach and the consistency. That additional income feeds directly into every earlier habit on this list: larger emergency fund, bigger retirement contributions, faster debt elimination. The compounding accelerates because more capital enters the system. There's a substitution effect working simultaneously. Time spent building something generates income. Time spent on passive entertainment typically costs money. Every hour you shift from consumption to creation works in both directions at once. The unsexy version of this habit is not thrilling. It's spending Saturday mornings writing or filming or making something instead of scrolling. It's slow. It's boring. It takes longer than anyone wants it to. And 3 years from now, it's an income stream that runs whether you're working or not. The boring math that creates real wealth. None of what you just watched is exciting. There is no hot stock tip here, no crypto play, no side hustle that generates $10,000 in the first 30 days, no dramatic transformation story. Just 10 habits that are so mundane, so unglamorous, that most people dismiss them. That dismissal is exactly why they work for the people who practice them. Let's add up the conservative annual savings from doing these habits. Driving older, paid-off vehicles instead of financing new ones, $5,000 to $8,000 annually. Meal rotation and reduced food waste, $2,500 to $4,000 annually. Making coffee and drinks at home, $1,500 to $2,000 annually. Packing food instead of buying out, $2,000 to $3,000 annually. Reducing impulse purchases through friction, $1,500 to $3,000 annually. Wardrobe discipline and reduced clothing spend, $800 to $1,200 annually. Total, $13,300 to $21,200 in annual savings compared to average American spending patterns. Take the midpoint. Call it $17,000 per year. Invested at a modest 8% annual return for 25 years, approximately $1.35 million. Not from a genius investment strategy, not from earning an elite income, from 10 habits so boring that nobody makes viral content about them. The Ramsey Solutions research on 10,000 actual millionaires found that 79% are self-made with no inheritance. Only 31% averaged 6 figures in annual income throughout their careers.
The median time to reach millionaire status was 28 years of consistent behavior.
Not a single millionaire in that study credited individual stock picking as a major factor. Consistent saving, consistent investing, consistent restraint. Boring behaviors, millionaire outcomes. The average American cannot cover a $1,000 emergency expense without going into debt. That's not because the average American earns too little. It's because the average American practices the opposite of what you just watched. The habits that build wealth look nothing like wealth. They look like a reliable used car, a packed lunch, a home coffee setup, and a savings transfer that happens before you even log into your bank account. Nobody will know you're doing this. Until one day, they will.